Evening, short story writers. Welcome to Short Story Ideas. Today is Selfie Saturday. I don't know what I called it. Anyway, some hokey little name like that. Today's prompt is you're going to delve into your memories, and at some point in your history, something will have thing, not person, something will have been closed down that you had some big connection with, and it could have been a shop or somewhere that you hung out when with friends perhaps. It doesn't matter what it was. The thing is, you're going to write something about that. That is your short story prompt. Now, if you're writing fairly straightforward stuff, it could involve literal memory where your protagonist is you, but you should try to therefore think of some story that maybe you can map onto it, perhaps from a different instance where you had some sort of struggle. For example, maybe you were, I don't know, 8 years old trying to buy a present, and you wanted some assistance from somebody, but you kept being overlooked because it was very, very crowded and you weren't a grown up, and so you had to throw a tantrum or be very, very grown up and say, "Excuse me, I was here first. I've been here 20 minutes waiting," or something along those lines. And that would be one way to approach it. The other would be if you wanted to write something along the more fictional lines, science fiction, fantasy, surreal, horror. This thing was closed down because it was sinister. It literally was closed down. You could approach it from the point of view of historical. That would be. It forms part of the era. So, for example, a hardware store that didn't keep up with technological times continued to sell gadgets of a kind which people were not using anymore. Internet cafes, there aren't too many of those around, but they were all the rage at one time. Biographical would be along those lines. You could be writing the story of the person who had run that shop in their family, and then they had no relatives to pass it on to, so they had to close up because of their health failing or something. And romantically, if you wanted to write romantic fiction about this, then it could be the story of where you met your first love, and some sort of place where you used to hang out and get sodas together when you were teenage sweethearts, and you're thinking about that. It was maybe a doomed romance. Maybe you went your own ways after you went to college. Maybe it worked out. Who knows? Yeah. Comedy, if you can use that, great. I'm sure you can. If you can write comedy, you can make comedy out of everything. And we've done biography. The only one left would be political. History and biography here are intermeshed. Political. Somebody wants to close things down so that they can raise it to the ground and build a mall, and they're in the pockets of, the local politicians are in their pockets. There's a lot of bribery going on, and your local reporter unmasks all this, etc., etc., etc. But it goes on. So I'd be stating the obvious, really, wouldn't it? Okay, so that's your prompt for today. 4:43. I came in well under time. So yeah, delve into your past. Find something in there that was part of your earlier years and which had some kind of connection with you. You got some bond with it, and you could just write a straight journal entry. Could be just writing a background for backstory for one of your characters, but do that anyway. Something that meant something to you, and it's gone now. There's been a lot of fiction written about that. Brideshead Revisited being a case in point, but tons and tons and tons where people go back to an earlier scene. All right. Happy writing.